This is an English revision class once again, and here at first we will discuss a poem from your Blossoms text entitled We Are Seven. Now, before starting the discussion with the long and short answer type questions, we will try to understand what the poem We Are Seven is all about. The poem is a conversation between an adult who is the poet William Wordsworth himself and a little village girl who is very innocent and does not understand, or we should say doesn't want to understand, that two of her siblings are dead. It shows the hope and great love of the child towards her brother and sister when she continues to say that they were still seven. Now we will begin the discussion with the long answer type questions. Now, as usual, I am going to discuss the answers which you follow, or you may write in your own words after following me. First question: why did the poet call the child a simple one? The probable answer for this question would be like this. The poet William Wordsworth called the little child a simple one because at this stage of life, children were full of life and energy, playing around and making merry, and therefore it was certain that death as a reality of life would be unknown to her. Next, I come to question number 2. In what way did the little girl's beauty attract the poet? Now the answer would follow like this. The girl had thick and curly hair clustered around her head. She was not very neatly dressed. She had large eyes which made the poet feel that she was a simple, innocent girl who was unaware of the fact about how life carried on. Now I come to question number 3. Why was the girl surprised when the poet asked her the question, how many may you be? Now this particular line, how many may you be, it is in the poem itself. So the question is based on this. Now the probable answer for this question would follow like this. The question, how many may you be, surprised the little girl because the girl probably might have considered this question of the poet to be an insensible one. She probably did not realize that her brother and sister was not living anymore. So in a very simple and direct manner, she answered that they were 7. I come to question number 4. What information did the girl reveal about her brothers and sisters? The answer would go like this. The little girl said that 2 of her siblings lived in Conway, which was a port city in Wales. 2 had gone to sea, 2 more lay in the churchyard grave, and the 7th one was herself. She counted the 2 dead children as living people. Now I come to the last question, that is question number 5 from this long answer type. Explain the line, "The little maid would have her will." Now this line is also from your poem. The probable answer for this. The poet said that ultimately it was beyond his effort to try and convince the little girl that the 2 children in the churchyard were already dead and their spirits had gone to heaven. So they were 5 now. The girl strongly believed that they were 7 siblings like before. Now I come to the short answer type questions, which I am going to discuss again, and as usual you follow it directly or write the answer with your own words. The choice is yours. Question 1. What did the poet mean when he said that the girl had a rustic woodland air? The answer goes like this. By the term rustic woodland air, the poet meant that the child was probably a simple village girl living near the woods you know, forest, and playing around there. She did not possess the sophistication of a child living in a city. I come to question 2. How was the poet convinced that they were 5 altogether? Now the answer goes like this. The poet, being an adult and therefore a mature person, understood very well that out of 7, when 2 were already dead, it was quite natural that there would be 5 living children, including the girl herself. I come to question 3. Their graves are green. What did the little girl mean by this? The answer would follow like this. When the girl said that their graves are green, she meant that green grass grew over the graves of her sister and brother. She meant to say that she came over there every day and spent time with them. Last question in this short answer type group. What information can we gather about the poet and his works? The answer follows like this. William Wordsworth, one of the greatest poets of the Romantic period, lived between 1770 up to 1850. He showed his love for nature with his famous poem, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. He became the Poet Laureate of England in 1843. Some of his greatest works are The Prelude, The Daffodils, Tintern Abbey, Upon Westminster Bridge, etc. Now we begin the objective type questions, the answers for which you are going to write on your own. Question 1. Where did the little girl live and with whom? 2. How did the poet describe the eyes of the girl? 3. Where were her brother and sister buried after they died? 4. How far was her house from the burial ground? And last question, number 5. How many siblings did the little girl lose? The second part of your revision is a topic from writing skill, that is letter writing, which we have done earlier, but it is just a recollection of what it is. Letters are means of communication between people. The habit of writing started in ancient times itself, when people decided to contact each other residing in far off places. Now, certain points which are to be kept in mind while writing letters. The first point, simple language and direct manner of writing to be used. Do not repeat the same point over and over again. That means you are going to write in a simple language and direct manner of writing. Do not repeat the same point because it becomes monotonous. Second point, do not write very lengthy letters. We are not here to write stories, they are letters. Informal letters can be a bit long because it is personal or friendly conversation, but official letters are to be brief or to the point. Official letters always should be brief because the people who are reading it do not have so much time. But informal letters, which we are doing today, they can be a little bit long. Third point, usage of harsh or impolite language should be avoided at all costs. We should never use any rude language, both in talking as well as writing. Last point, express different ideas in different paragraphs. Different ideas should always be expressed in different paragraphs, and do not cluster it and make it into one paragraph. If you do it, it becomes like a story. Now here we are going to do the revision of the format of the informal letter, which we had done in the previous video also, but it is just a recollection. We go to the topmost right, which is the heading, that is the sender's address, and just below it you have the date. Leave a line, go to the left, that is the greeting or the salutation. Dear, the person's name to whom you are writing the letter. Then just below the comma you see over here the content or the body of the letter, whichever we are going to write, and then the subscription or the polite ending of the letter. We end with yours truly or yours lovingly and the sender's name below, and here it is the envelope, receiver's full name, care of, the guardian's name, and in case the person is an adult, need not write care of, only the person's address is enough. Receiver's address, and then you have the PIN code. Now for your benefit, I have given a sample letter here. Just follow it. A letter to your mother narrating your experience of an earthquake. See the address: 1 Station Road, Jamnagar 361004, 21st July 2020. Dear Mother, I know you are worried after receiving the news of the earthquake. I am safe here. The epicenter was at Ahmedabad, which is quite far from Jamnagar. I woke up in the morning after hearing loud bangs on my door. My hostel warden said that tremors were being felt and instructed me to move down. You see, there is a change in the paragraph. All the girls of the hostel ran towards the campus field, and there we saw panic-stricken local residents wondering what to do. The tremors lasted for 5 to 7 minutes and left a trail of destruction in some areas. I am volunteering for the relief work organized by our college. We help the affected people with food, clothes, and also money if possible. There is again a change in the paragraph. Ending my letter here. I hope everything is working fine at home. I shall come home after the completion of my first semester exam. Then the ending, yours lovingly, Nipa. Now here's the envelope. Devika Krishnan, 1/C, Mahatma Gandhi Road, Bengaluru 560017. Now here there is an assignment which you have in every video. The assignment is a letter to your cousin congratulating her for the good result in her Madhyamik exam. Now certain queries I received in the previous video. I'm going to answer them. Just follow as I say the answers. Question number 1. Why did Belle roam about the castle? Now the answer for this would go like this. Belle roamed about the castle in order to look for the captive prince who she thought was hidden inside the castle. Question 2. Why does the poet choose to be a vagabond? The answer would be as follows. The poet wants to live a free life. He wants to remain lonely and avoid human contact. He loves an isolated existence and is disinterested in worldly pleasures. Question 3. Mention the difference between the rich and the poor man in the poem Caring for Others. The answer would go like this. In the poem Caring for Others' Sympathy, the rich man's help is just a mechanical act. He helps the poet just as a passer-by would do. But the poor man helps the poet in spite of himself being poor and having no means of proper sustenance. Question 4. How do we differentiate between physical pain and the pain caused to one's self-respect? The answer would be probably like this. Physical pain or pain in our bodies will go away eventually, but injury or pain to our self-respect poison our minds and also our hearts, and it takes a long time to heal. Now, a question from grammar. She had been running for an hour. Change into passive. Now this particular sentence cannot be changed into passive because there is no object over here. It is intransitive verb, and as we know, only transitive verbs can be changed. Question number 6. People dash within brackets come out in large numbers to cast their vote. Now for this blank we can write came, will come, and also come can be written, and it is grammatically correct. And one more thing I want to tell you, students, please read the lesson over and over again and follow the revision videos. All your answers are there itself.